We're just getting her mic'd up so she can say hello to us and let us know how you're doing with your Welsh Baccalaureate this year, Nia.
Diolch yn fawr, Pranda. First of all, I've got to say hello to Tina and Wendy, who I see have joined. They'll know that probably this is my first webinar, so hello and thanks for joining. Just like everybody else, we piloted last year. Challenging year, but we were very proud of our outcomes in the summer results, especially for the post-16. The challenge being, of course, it's over 26 weeks. So we do allocate the full time, the 120 hours, as per the specification guidelines. But you know, we had many past stars, which we were immensely proud of those. And at National, it was we operate as a group across 3 centres. And you know, there were new courses that had never touched the Welsh Baccalaureate before at our agricultural college, but overall we were very pleased. Our issue with National was the task and test of the AON.
Okay, it seems that some people can't hear Nia speaking. If you could just let us know with an emoticon whether you actually can hear Nia or you can hear me speaking. If you could put a smiley face if you can hear us. Okay, we've got some people that can hear us. Okay, so Nia was just telling us about the experience last year in Group Llandrach They've had a really successful year, particularly at Foundation and National, where they had a high success rate, allocating the full 120 hours to the teaching and learning. I believe that's right, isn't it, Nia? I think now from the emoticons, we've had many people that can hear Nia. Okay, and I think you can hear us too. Okay, we'll move on now. If we're having problems with the sound, we will come back to it. So Nia, do you just want to say hello to us again so we can check we can hear you?
Pranda, croeso I Coleg Llandrach, and I've just given an overview of the Foundation and National, and this January now we're submitting our advanced in quite high numbers for global and enterprise and employability. So we'll see. We piloted the advanced with global and community last summer, and you know, it's getting the advanced through the first cycle, and that's our challenge at the moment. Pardon the pun, challenges.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to move you on. As you know, you've signed up today for our webinar, Getting Started with ePortfolio for Welsh Baccalaureate. So we know that you will be in very different places. If you could use your pen tool to just mark on the line how you are feeling today about using the ePortfolio for Welsh Baccalaureate, whether you're very confident, so you're going to be on the left-hand side, or whether you're not feeling so confident at the moment, you might make a mark towards the right hand side. So we can see actually we've got quite a range here. We've got some that are very confident, fantastic. If you are feeling very confident, you might want to identify yourself in the chat pane so we can come and have a chat to you about being involved in some CPD with your colleagues. And we just had a question from Kath. Hi Nia, how many entries? Perhaps we'll come back to questions at the end, but we'll take a note of them. So thanks Kath for your question. Okay, just to let you know what we're going to be doing during the webinar today, it is being recorded, as we said earlier. We're going to take you through a lot of screencasts of the Moodle, the WJC ePortfolio. Now, we're going to go through fairly quickly. It's an awareness raising session today. As it's recorded, we will send you out the link. When you come in practice to using the ePortfolio yourself, you may want to use the recording as you go along and pause it so that you can go through step by step. But between Tina and I this morning, we're going to take you through getting online, getting onto the Moodle and assessing the candidate work. Any questions you have, please put in the chat pane. We'll come back to them afterwards. I know we have Karen Ford from WJC and Andrew Morse from WJC with us on the webinar today, so they may also be able to answer questions in the chat pane. You'll have all received a circular from WJC. a recommendation that they have quoted from Qualifications Wales, and all centres must register on the new e-portfolio system during the 2016-17 academic year, and from September 2017 they must use the e-portfolio system to manage the assessment of all learners taking the Skills Challenge certificates. So we've got a staged approach to this, and there will be some pilots. So we're just going to take you through a short timeline. So in January, the January 2017 series, there is an initial pilot. Now this is for anybody, we're looking for one FE college, and the regional consortia are looking for some pilot schools, which I believe, Tina, you've already identified your pilot schools. We're still looking for an FE college, so if you are interested in taking part in the January pilot, please drop me an email. What you'll need to do for the January pilot is just record assessor comments and marks on the ePortfolio system. So we won't be using the authoring tool, it is just recording assessor comments and marks, but you will also be submitting marks on YAMIS alongside that in January 2017. This leads us into June 2017 series, where the initial pilot centre, the one that's taking part in January, will progress to uploading candidate work using the Xerti authoring tool. There will be face-to-face training available for that. We're not expecting you to do that by yourself. So if you're still interested in being that pilot centre for January and you're happy to progress in June to using Xerti, please let us know. And then we are extending the pilot to other centres who will just be using the assessor comments and recording the marks for the June 2017 series. This is all in the circular, so you can refer back to that. And then that leads us on to January 2018, where we will be having a full use of the portfolio, where all centres will be using the internal assessment tool to upload assessor comments and marks. And for those challenges where you can use Xerti as the authoring tool, they will be used by next January. So that's a quick timeline. I realise I've gone through that very quickly because we want to get you onto the Moodle itself. However, I am going to test that you've been listening. Okay, so if you could use your pen tool, and if you could tell me the date where we are looking for an initial pilot to one FE centre and 4 pilot schools to upload assessor marks and comments. Oh, fantastic. You're all awake and listening. Spot on, January 2017. Okay, so question 2, when is the extended pilot taking part, where the initial centre will be using Moodle and Xerti? Okay, I can kick a pattern here. And there will be other centres assessing with the assessor comments and marks. Okay, I haven't even asked question 3 now. No, I tell you what, that's just cheating. I might have gone back to the initial pilot, but yes. When will all centres, when will there be full implementation? Fantastic. Okay, you've got the idea. Full implementation by January 2018. Fantastic. So we've got the timeline, but it is in your circular. So if you haven't seen the circular, let us know and we'll make sure you get a copy of that. I'm going to hand over to Tina Parks, lead practitioner from GWARE, to take you through the first screens.
Okay, so when you log on to the WJEC Moodle, the website is http://wjeckernel.co.uk. When you log on there, you will need to have your teacher login details, and you will need to enter them in the teacher login screen. So first of all, you'll have your teacher username and your password. If you have a look at the other side of the screen, you can see the candidate login. For this time, we're just going to show you what the screen would look like, but we won't be using the candidate details. Okay, so if we move on to the next screen, this is what you'll see. So when you've logged in, the first thing you'll see is the course that you are assigned to. If you are the Welsh Bac coordinator for your centre, you may have a number of courses there, or if you just deliver one course, you'll just see the one course that you are associated with. If you click on the course that you're associated with, it will take you to the next screen, which gives you an overview of the courses available or the folders available for you to open. I'm going to pass you back now.
Okay, we've got a tag team going on here today between Tina and myself, Karen Whitman from Colega Cymru. We're taking you through the screen. So we're concentrating on the screen, the teacher login on the left-hand side. So you can see that down the bottom of that screen, although if you've got this as full screen, it may be on your right-hand side, you have an administration. I'm just putting a circle around it now. And you can see that you have, it's very small on your screen, I realise, you'll have a tab that says Users. If you click on Users, I'm circling it now, and Groups, it will take you through to this screen where you'll actually see all the groups that you have access to. If you are a Welsh back tutor, you will only see on the left-hand side where I am circling any student groups that you are currently teaching. If you are the Welsh back coordinator, you will be seeing all the groups on this screen. We will now need to select the group that you want to allocate a challenge certificate, a challenge to. In this case, I'm only going to look at my demo course, which is the top line. And if I click on the group of learners, I will come onto the next screen where I can now see it's highlighted in blue, and you can see in the box on the right hand side I will have a list of all the candidates that are in that group. So the first thing you'll need to check, are you the teacher on that group, and do you have the correct candidates? If you don't have the correct candidates, then you'll need to go back to your Welsh back coordinator or your exams office. So once we've made sure that we've got the right cohort of students for the challenge that you want to open up to assess, you'll see that there is a tab called Groupings, which I'm now circling. So we will click on Groupings, and once I've clicked onto Groupings, I can now have all the Welsh back challenges available come up on the next screen. Now, for the purposes of today, I'm going to be concentrating on the advanced. Oh, I've circled the wrong one. It's the global citizenship, because we've decided that within the room here, that's one of our favourite challenges. So we're just looking at the advanced global challenge. You can see it's absolutely tiny. I have glasses, so I can see it very clearly, that we have some icons on the right hand side where there are two people. On my screen they're blue, depending on whether you're looking in monochrome or in colour, but I have two small people in an icon, and that's the icon you want to press next. Again, remember this is being recorded and you may want to listen to this again when you're actually doing this in practice. Once you've pressed the little icon with two people, it will tell me now that I am in the Global Citizenship Challenge, and I've only got to do this once when I want to assess this group on the Global Citizenship Challenge. So this is a one-time process. And then I can actually see the groups, and you can see I've got highlighted in blue the group of learners, which is my demonstration group on the right hand side. So I need to check that I've got the right challenge and the right group of learners, and then you can click Add. There are also some YouTube videos available from WJC, which we will make sure that you have access to. Once I've clicked Add, it will take me on to the next screen, and you can see that my demo group have now been added to the Global Citizenship Challenge. If you're familiar with Moodle, you often do this when you're adding groups onto courses. Now, here's a bit of a challenge. Can anybody spot something that has happened on the candidate login? If you can spot a change on the candidate login, I'll take you back to the previous screen. Looking at the candidate login and looking at the candidate login now, what can you see? Okay, well done. It's a bit of a spot the difference there, just to check that you are still with us. So far we've not asked any candidates to log in, but if they were to log in, by actually adding this group to the Global Citizenship Challenge, it has now opened up the challenge for the candidate. That means you are now able to assess that candidate's work. Now that candidate's work may be paper-based in front of you, you may have it on a memory stick, but you will have that candidate's work saved locally, but now you are in a position to be able to assess that using the Moodle. So what we can see now from the teacher login page, we've opened up the Advanced Global Citizenship Challenge, and we can see that it's opened up on the candidates page. From here on in, we are only going to concentrate on the teacher's login page. So we know that we have now allocated one group of students to the Global Citizenship Challenge, and I'm going to hand you back over to Tina to take you through how to actually allocate the marks. Please ask any questions as you're going through.
Dale, thank you. Okay, so when you go into the Global Citizen Challenge or whatever challenge it is you've opened, you'll see a brief outline of the challenge here. At the top here, you can also see the authoring tool. Now, later on in the year, when we look at Xerti and how to upload students' work, this is where you will access it. But again, that's going to be later on in the year. If you scroll down on that page, you will come to the section that gives you the option to grade. So you just simply click on this button here, where it says grade. And then it will take you into what is in effect your mark book for the Global Citizenship Challenge. You'll be able to see all of your students listed, and then you'll be able to click on the grade button for each individual student as you go along. So if we click on one of the students' grade buttons, it will take you to that student's mark page. At the bottom, you'll be able to see three icons. If you click on the middle one, it's easier. It's an easier view for you to see. If you click on that middle button, it will take you to this view where you can see the learning objectives information from the WJC on how we grade them, what bands people go into. And if you scroll down for that page, it will then take you to the comment grid where the assessors put their comments in and their marks. Okay, the nice thing about this is you're able to cut, copy and paste comments from the criteria that the WJC have given and paste them into the comment banks for the assessor. You should then personalise these comments to show where the criteria has been met. Once you've written your comments in, the assessor will put in their grade. The grade for this particular challenge is out of 9 for each of the LOs. If you scroll down on that page, it will take you to LO1, LO2, LO3, however many LOs there are for that particular page. As you're marking the work, it may be that something happens and you have to step away from the work for the moment and want to save it. If you do that without entering a grade or a mark into each one of the LOs, it will show this page. It will come up with an error. All you simply need to do is to enter a 0 for each of the LOs, and you can go back to marking it at a later date. Moving on from there, at the bottom of the page, there is an area where you're able to upload documents as the assessor. This can be used at the moment in any way you feel best to communicate with the moderator where the marks have been allocated and why. Once you've finished marking the work, you click on Save Changes. If you've entered a grade into each one of the LO boxes, then it will take you to here where you can say whether you've the work is in marking or whether you've completed the marking in the drop-down box. The default when you first enter will be not marked as the work hasn't been marked at that point. Once you've entered and saved the work, it will take you back to your marking grid, to your mark book. You'll be able to see now the total grades that you've allocated to that student here. It'll add them up for you for the entire challenge, and you'll also be able to see some of the comments that you've put in, whether there's feedback comments put in. If I go back to the LOs where you're entering your own comments in, you can cut, copy and paste from the grid, and you can also enter in your own free typing as well in the LOs. So that takes you through the actual marking grid and how you put in the criteria, and takes you back to the mark book. And I will pass you back over. Thank you.
Okay, so that was quite a whistle-stop tour of how to actually put the marks in for candidates where you have saved their work locally. It's either paper-based or you have it on a memory stick. We've had a couple of questions. Julianne, I think your question has been answered. Yes, you can put comments in to the boxes on the screens that Tina was just showing you previously for each learning outcome, so that you can actually put the comments in on, oh, go back to another screen. This is where you'll put the comments. Okay, so I believe that question has been answered. We have, as we've gone through, Nia came up with some questions earlier, and we've also come up with some other questions that we felt would be useful to have answered. So we've WJC have come up with some questions, some answers to these questions. So do learners actually log into Moodle? Because you'll notice we've showed you a split screen where there was a candidate login and a tutor login. For this instance, for the pilot for January, there will be no need for any candidates to log into Moodle. If they are not using the authoring tool, or if they're not using Xerti, it will purely be the tutors and the course leaders logging into Moodle. Candidates will be issued with a username and password, but they only actually need to use that when they are uploading their own work, which for this January pilot does not need to take place. They need to have a username and password, otherwise you won't be able to access their details to allocate them marks.
And just to point out to lecturers maybe who may be taking part today, it is the coordinator and the exams team who will be working out and the spreadsheets and getting the logins for everybody. That's not something, and they will appear then as groupings, will they? The staff don't have to put them in groups. So, you know, the behind the scenes is being done for teaching staff, just to reassure them of that. Yeah.
I think that is really reassuring. Thank you, Nia. And Kath has asked a question, any chance of a dummy site to play with at all? When we are planning to do some face-to-face sessions in January, and in fact I think I'll give you the dates for the Southwest is going to be Monday the 16th of January. We will bring some dummy accounts there for you to use, Kath. So yes, there are some dummy sites to play with, and that's something that we can talk to WJC about if you need some dummy accounts. Okay, so at this just to go back to the first question. Can you mute Nia's mic, please, Anne? Thank you. I've just realised we've got an echo when we've got both mics working. Okay, so learners will not be logging into Moodle in January unless they're using the Xerti. So can learner work be uploaded onto the Moodle site? Because obviously if you're used to using Moodle in college, sometimes you actually ask your learners to submit assignments straight into Moodle. There is a short answer to this one, and that's no. Learner work cannot be uploaded onto the Moodle site itself. The only candidate work that will be uploaded will be via the authoring tool Xerti. For FE colleges, we are not doing this in January as part of the pilot. We'll be looking to do that in June, and it will be candidates only that are uploading their work. I just got another.
Is it just the sample that will be uploaded, or is it every learner work?
Okay, very good question. For the pilot, we are looking for one challenge for a whole cohort. To take part in the pilot, you have the whole cohort, and it'll be all the candidate work in that cohort that will be uploaded for one
Moving
challenge.
on and further down the line, I expect it will be the sample that the WJC requests that will be uploaded.
We will get back to you with that. My belief is that eventually the for full implementation, it'll be all learner work will be submitted on Moodle. But I believe that Andrew and Karen Ford are in the chat pane, so they may be able to answer that as well. So no learner work will be uploaded onto the Moodle site, only via the authoring tool Xerti. It won't just go onto the Moodle site itself. The third question, should the assessor or the moderator marks be submitted? Because obviously you will have your own internal moderation processes, and we're asking that the assessor is submitting marks in the first instance. If the moderator is looking and there are some disagreements on the mark, the expectation is that the initial assessor, the first assessor, will make the changes to those marks so that the marks will actually be on Moodle will be the moderated marks that have been agreed, but they will have been put in by the first assessor. Okay, what we've got now, we have got a little bit of time to come back to questions. So if you would like to put any questions in the chat pane, whilst you're thinking about those questions, we will move on to the next slide, because we just want to let you know what's happening next, and this is for the FE, and then we'll hand over to Tina so she can let you know what's happening with the schools. In January, we are having some regional meetings, so if you are interested in being a pilot centre either for the January series or the June series, or you just want to get involved in some face-to-face e-portfolio sessions, I can tell you that on the 12th of January, if you are part of Group MPTC, Gower College, Swansea, Merthyr College or Bridgend College, we will be looking for a face-to-face session on the 12th of January during the morning. It'll only be a 2-hour session, so that all the screens that we've gone through, that you can actually go through yourself and have a play on some dummy sites so that you can have a practice. In the afternoon of the 12th of January, we will be moving over to the southeast region. So if you're in Coleg Gwent, Coleg y Cymoedd, if you're in Cardiff and Vale College, or if you're in St David's College, that will be the afternoon of the 12th of January. Again, that will be a face-to-face session where you can have a practice. And if you are in the north, so if you're in Group Llandrillau, NIA is arranging that, and we believe that's going to be the afternoon of the 13th of January, and we'll be inviting our colleagues from Coleg Cambria to come to that session as well. If you're in West Wales, we haven't forgotten about you. We actually have a venue. We're going to go to Gelliair at part of Sir Gar, thanks to Mary Richards, and that's on the 16th of January. We will email out the times and the venues in plenty of time, so don't worry. We just wanted you to have the dates for your diary. So that will be for Coleg Sir Gar, Pembrokeshire College and Coleg Ceredigion, and that will be on the 16th of January. If you were part of our initial regional meetings that took place in early November, we have the term 2 version of those in March. We will be sending out dates and venues to you very soon, and that's going to be concentrating on the quality cycle on moderation. We are also going to have a small input on ePortfolio just to catch up to where people are and what we need moving forward. We also have 2 more webinars that we'd like you to put dates in your diary. We have the 10th of January, we're going to look at sharing good practice for Community Challenge. We are looking for a host college. We were very fortunate to go to the College Merthyr in November, where we looked at Global Citizenship Challenge. They were in the middle of their conference and exhibition, and we had a fantastic webinar. We have the recording link for that, so if you'd like a copy of that, please let us know. If you are doing some work on Community Challenge and you're willing to host us, please email us, and we'd love to come to you to deliver the Community Challenge webinar. And then on the 1st of February, we're going to be looking at the Enterprise and Employability Challenge again. Please let us know if you've got some good practice to share for enterprise and employability. We'd love to come to you and deliver a webinar from the 1st of February. These webinars are an opportunity for you to share amongst colleges and amongst the regional consortia. We're really pleased to be working with GWER today, what you are doing for these challenges, because we know that there are some excellent examples of work out there. Okay, I'm going to check back into the chat pane. Do we have any questions that we would like to come back to? Or if anybody would like to go back to any particular part of the process and go through that, we do have 5 to 10 minutes that we can go through.
We had a couple of questions at the beginning about the number of entries, particularly for maths at GLLM. I don't know if you would like to answer that for us.
Sorry, was it for maths?
Would you? for Welsh Back, I think.
Okay, across the group we have 3 centres. We have got an implementation policy which we are reviewing now to meet the Welsh Government's requirements. For foundation, we're in the region of 200, national 100, and advanced is about 1,500 between year 1 and year 2. That's where we currently stand.
Right, there was another question. This one may be for somebody else. Thank you. Yeah. How do you enter all the candidate details? I don't know. Have we answered that one?
Okay, so candidate details, that there is a spreadsheet that your exams office or your Welsh Back coordinator will have had access to. If you need some help filling in your spreadsheet, please drop us an email and we can assist you in filling in that spreadsheet. We can put you in touch with either Karen Ford or Andrew Morse. It is important that that spreadsheet is filled in correctly because it is uploaded directly into the onto the WJEC Moodle. If your students aren't entered correctly, then you won't be able to see them to open up the challenge to assess. So yes, you do need to get those entries in accurately. The deadline initially was the 31st of October, so it is quite possible that many of your centres have already been submitted. Okay, any other questions, Anne?
I think there was another question about if we cut and paste comments, do we have to add comments?
I'm going to pass over to Tina for this because I can see she's got an answer.
That's great. Thank you. I think that's most of them. But if I've missed any questions, does anybody want to re-type into the box? Now, Shirley Minton says we've lost sound there. Can you hear us now? My mic may have gone down. Let's just have a look.
Okay, so just to repeat your answer from Tina, whilst you can copy and paste comments from the learning outcomes, you should always add as good practice, you should always add your own comments as well to personalise each piece of assessment. Obviously, that is good practice. The more that you can annotate and add comments, the better it will be.
Yes, I apologise for that loss of sound. What happened was we were passing microphones around, and while I muted mine, of course, I muted the wrong one because the one that was attached to my computer was actually in Tina's ears. So I do apologise for that. Right, any more questions? We have one here. If we can't utilise Xerti just yet, how are other centres keeping their learners' assessment materials secure?
Currently in my centre, for example, we're holding work on a secure shared area. I know that's how a number of schools are operating in the area. So an area where the students are uploading work to the shared area and then it is locked down so they're unable to access it from there on. That's how the school centres are doing it. I'm not sure how the colleges are doing it at the moment. I'll just pass over.
Okay, I know that different centres are dealing with this in different ways. Some centres are keeping hard copies of learner work, some centres are using memory sticks, some centres do again have the secure areas that they are saving work. If anybody is in a college and has a way that they would wish to share with Libby, please type in the chat pane, let Libby know how are you saving yours. So Julianne in Cardiff and Vale, all ours has been uploaded to Moodle and locked. We just want to say a quick thank you to Nia. She's having to leave us to drive back to another campus for a meeting at 1:30. So thank you, Nia, for being with us today. But we'll make sure that all Nia's colleagues get the link to this recording. Okay, so Rhiannon has also put an answer in the chat pane. So there's a shared folder for the back and controlled assessment materials that's secured by Imperio. So that's obviously the software that you are using. Libby's hoping to use OneDrive, so as long as you can lock that down and keep that secure and you're keeping within the controls, that's great. Okay, so we are nearly at the end of today's webinar. It has again been a whistle-stop tour of the ePortfolio. Just to remind you, there are going to be YouTube videos available which we will use during the face-to-face training sessions. This webinar has been recorded, so the slides that we have gone through, taking you through a step-by-step process of the screens that you will see when you need to allocate learners to a challenge in order to assess that cohort. You can watch that again and you can work through it with your own login. But we are planning to do these face-to-face sessions, so you will be supported with the ePortfolio. Okay, we have a few people typing some more questions. This is the last opportunity to put some questions before we leave you for today. But again, we will email out the dates for January to come and do the face-to-face sessions. Don't forget, if you're an FE college and you are willing to be the pilot, please get in contact with us as soon as you can. We do, Deleth, yes, we do have a step-by-step guide. It is in translation at the moment. We have, and as soon as the translation has been completed, that will be sent out to everybody that has given us their email for the webinar. So if you did join in via the webinar link today and you have not sent us your email, Anne is just going to put an email address for Anne or for me, and we will make sure that you get a step-by-step printed guide. It's a Word document. As soon as that is translated, that will come out to you. Okay, Shirley Minton, no problem. Welcome, Suzanne. You've been listening in today. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so all it leaves me to do now is to say thank you, Deal, to Tina and to Nia for hosting today, and thank you for joining in. It's been less interactive today because we had a lot of information that we wanted to get across to you. Working together and sharing good practice, we will move forward with this ePortfolio very smoothly, we believe. So please get in contact if you have any other questions. If you could just show your appreciation to those that have taken part today, to Tina, to Nia, and Group Clonjuslomenai for hosting. Thank you very much. And we don't have a video to play you out with today, but we will look forward to seeing you in the next webinar, which will be on the 10th of January for Community Challenge. And I believe we've had a few people offering to host that for us. So thank you very, very much for joining us.
And can I say thank you also from me? Thank you for joining us. That's from Anne Evans, and thanks to Karen for hosting, for working so hard on it, and also from me to Tina and to Nia. That's been great, and thanks to GLLM for hosting us. If anyone is interested in positive behaviour management, do email us. We have another webinar on that tomorrow. You like lunchtime webinars, or listen in later. Thank you very much. Do we need to say anything else, Karen, or I think we're there? Thank you very much for attending, everybody, and for taking part, and congratulations to all of those for whom it was a first webinar. Now you've dipped your toes in and know how it's done. You should not feel worried at all about doing the next one. Thank you.
Deal. Just to exit the webinar, press the cross on the left hand or right hand, depending which machine you're using. We're going to end the meeting now.